Hey everyone, it's your girl MARii with CCM Magazine. I am here today with Pastor CZ of Church of the City here in Franklin, Tennessee, and I am so excited because we have in hand this book, this amazing inspiration, this soul food, this book called SoulRest. Are you excited?
Oh, I can't believe it. It's surreal that you're holding that book, and it's exciting to be with you.
This is like your baby. Let me let you hold this.
Man, it's just, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm so thankful that you get to hold it as
Yes,
well.
amazing. And you get to get your copy too. Check it out on Amazon. You can get the actual physical version or you can get the Kindle version, right?
That's right, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's surreal. All of this is just incredible. Writing from a place of my heart's experience and my life's experience, and you know, jumping on Amazon is always a crazy thing. There's a lot of choices. Hopefully this will be a book that you'll really appreciate. And the Kindle version is only $3.99, and I know that that's usually an affordable option for some folks. So if you want to grab one to share with somebody else. I think it would be an incredible option for you to be able to do that.
Skip out on the iced coffee and get some soul food, okay? So how did this book come about?
Yeah, so that's kind of a loaded question, but I think it is an important one. You know, I had served in ministry for a period of time where I was primarily focused on the things that I could do for God. And what I mean by that is completely connected to gift set, the energy and the will that I could put behind things to show God and others how kind of Christian I was, you know.
Yeah.
I knew the things that I was doing were really important, and I believe that following the way of Jesus was the best way to live. I think the problem was, as I was living out that way of life, so much of it wasn't sustainable. Like it just wasn't a realistic prospect to think that for the next 10, 15 years that my life would be able to maintain that same level of energy and engagement connected to that, because all of my work for God was coming from a place of my own energy. And so what I realized was there was a fatigue that was rising within me, and that fatigue was not one that just could go away from a nap or a vacation. That was this depth of fatigue that really did touch on my soul.
Wow, and I think a lot of people's souls are like that, and I'm so excited that we have a book, a manual called SoulRest that we can actually read, and it has a lot of your story in it as well, right?
Yeah, and I think that that's the interesting aspect to it. The hope that I would have is interweaving my story, my experience, the failures, the learnings, the hard times, the victories. I think hopefully will be an area where approachability will be present, that we will all be able to say and give ourselves permission to say, you know, man, I see myself inside of that, and also there's hope that can be overcome.
Yes. And what's the most important thing that you want people to take away from this book?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that can capsulize the whole message is God's intention for humanity from the very beginning was that we would find rest. He designed humanity to be in rhythm with himself. And then we know the greatest problem in all the Bible, sin, enters in Genesis 3, and it disrupts what God had intended to be connected to him and to be solely sustained by him. And so it says in Ecclesiastes 3 that God set eternity in our hearts. So like when he made us, there was this eternal longing, and it can only be fulfilled by one that's eternal. But we have turned in our humanity to trying to fill eternal longings with things that aren't eternal. So then we find ourselves satisfied for a time, and it's great, and it appeases us for a time, but we find ourselves wanting and longing for more. And so I believe God from the beginning intended that there would be a rest in our souls and in our whole being because of the way that he designed us to be fulfilled by him. But we're broken in our pursuit of where that longing is fulfilled.
Absolutely, that's amazing. And I know I spoke with you before, but I love the timing of it. You guys, we're in the middle of the year. You know, maybe you didn't keep your New Year's resolutions. Maybe you had goals that you're still trying to obtain. This is a pick-me-up. Can you address that?
Yeah, I think that's a great perspective. You know, we started out this year probably making proclamations for things that we're going to do and things that we're going to accomplish. And again, those are all good things, and I think we need to know for sure that it's important for us to set goals, for us to be aspirational toward things. But I think the problem comes in when we try to achieve those things in our own strength, and then we start to falter in our commitments. And we all find ourselves in those places. when that starts to occur, what's going to be the thing that brings sustenance to our lives? Like, what's going to be the thing that reinforces our energy around why do I stay with this? And what I've found is it has to be a meaning beyond just the surface commitment. And why this book I feel like is important to me in the message is there is a soulish depth in regard to what our meaning looks like. And to what you're saying, I think it's really just that. In the middle of the year, for this book to present itself to some people, I think it will remind us and calibrate what really is important.
Exactly. Amazing. So listen, you're a pastor, you're a father, and congratulations, you have a newborn.
I do, yes. Yeah, 3 months old. Yeah, his name is Micah. Then I also have a 4-year-old. His name is Noah, and my wife's name is MARii, and she's incredible.
And you guys all serve here in the church together, right?
Yeah, it's been really cool. You know, our hope is to be on the way together in life and not try to separate what we do specifically in ministry or in life, but that it would be connected.
Beautiful. And you've also been in the music industry.
Yeah, it's wild, man. You know, I think one of the things that's really cool about what this book represents for me is having a foundation connected to what life looks like in the spinning wheels around what it means to be in the music industry.
Yeah.
And there are so many components that are always at play, and there's like people who are expecting things from you, and you're trying to churn out and create new content, but then you're thinking about what it means to put that content out, and then the receiver, and then moving on to the next thing, and there's always something. And so even in that arena, part of what was really appealing to me about writing this book was serving my fellow musicians, you know, the folks who know the expectations connected to what it means to be a part of the music industry, and sometimes that can be pretty difficult, and the same thing, that unattainable striving and straining that's there to accomplish something that really isn't firmly defined, but to be able to introduce the idea that maybe there's a depth of meaning even connected to our art that comes from the soul.
Amazing. Guys, this is more than words, actually. I am so excited that I have this in my hands, but I feel like now it's going to be in my heart and in my soul. I mean, we said that we were going to be real here with CCM Magazine. It's been a rough year even for me. You see people like us up here that may be speaking to you from across the camera, but it's because we've gone through these personal things ourselves, through health, financial, marriage issues, and our souls needed rest. And so you now have this manual. It's not because, you know, we want to tell you the way that you need to do things or the way how to get there, but it's because of our experiences. So we know we've got your back. We've gone through it, and we just want to let you know that you're not alone and there is rest for your soul. Dios bendiga.